but based on the learning experience shown on that, I wanted you to be safe for what you were doing, and you were pushing and you were learning, so it was worth it to make the move to the hard top, the closed cockpit car.
Yep.
And now that you've done that and you're taking it more serious, it's either less of this and do this for fun at an easy pace and do more like chump car races,
Right. Yep.
where the safety gear is all there.
Right.
Or you got to put like just a bar in the back where you can put a harness in.
Yep.
And that's a good starting point, because then you can wear head and neck restraints.
Yeah. Well, then you have to change the seat also.
Well, maybe, but there's plenty of cheap enough seats out there.
Okay. Yeah.
And you could probably sell these seats if you wanted to, but if it's you should consider it.
Okay.
All right, this car is backwards, right?
Well, it's
Right.
Right.
That's forwards. Yeah, this is that generation that's a little funky. Hold this a little longer, then turn in, so you can straighten the wheel and brake. Now hold this a little bit longer.
Yep.
Let it out to the seam, just to the seam, and now you can start accelerating.
Gotcha.
Hold this out here a little longer. Now bring it down.
Yep. Okay.
Light brake, slow hands.
Yep.
Now that I'm at the apex, start unwinding, adding power. I come in a little tighter, let it out, and now I can squeeze up the hill. But I turn in earlier, but with slower hands. I'm going to ride the brake all the way to here. With 2 pedal on the gas, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, flat, and off. See how I let it come off the rim a little bit? And now back on the throttle. Braking a little earlier, turning a little earlier, using this compression here. And now this is uphill from here.
Right.
But we have to remember this little crest where the car's going to wiggle. So I got to straighten the wheel and brake out over the crest with the straight steering wheel.
Okay.
You're going back to the gas. I'm just doing a lighter brake, and now I'm on the gas. Only because that's my first time coming through. The goal is to not have to go back to the gas.
Okay.
Let it out to the seam, patience, and now squeeze that throttle. Hold this a tick longer, slow hands back to the left, patience on the throttle. Notice how I'm not running out of road there? Well, we're carrying just as much speed, if not more.
Right.
Patience, 1 pedal on the gas now, 2 pedal, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 1 off the brake, 1 pedal on the gas, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and braking. Down to the apex, let it out to the seam, off the brake, back on the throttle, gently, a little traction control there, not gentle enough on my part. Slow hands here, just balancing the throttle. I'm full now.
Yep.
Braking early, softening, get in the car, down to the apex, straighten and squeeze, and carry the brakes in, let it out a little. Now let it come back.
Okay.
Unwind the wheel. Patience, now back on it all. Braking lightly, getting in here in the compression. The car is fully compressed now. And I'm squeezing the throttle. I'm holding the steering in longer than I'd like so I can straighten it here and go over the crest.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was running out of road when I tried to straighten it down.
Right, exactly. Because you let the car out too fast, too early.
Right, gotcha.
Take a deep breath, check the mirrors, look at the gauges. Life is good. So I'm going to brake a little bit later and soften slowly. And I'm not going back to power, but I'm letting it coast up the hill.
Right.
Now I got to go because I'm just really misjudging with this car what I can do there. So ideally, what is not let it go back to power. Let it out to the seam, turn my head to the right, patience, and now I'm really squeezing on the throttle. Hold this a little longer, relax the throttle, slow hands, and now squeeze the throttle. Soften the brake gently. We can get into this camber here, down a gear, and roll into that throttle.
Yep. A lot of the turns I wasn't getting into the camber.
Yep. Patience, and now I can squeeze. Get into the camber.
Originally I was getting into the camber, but I was trying to hold it all the way around. I wasn't letting it go
You
out.
let it out.
Yeah.
You're just opening the radius up that little bit.
Right.
Patiently squeezing. Wide on entry, tight on the exit. Now I can straighten the wheel and big power. And now hold that brake, keep the weight on the nose so the car will bite as the road falls away. Patience, and now squeeze. And when we go in this lap?
Whatever you like.
Okay. Turn in a little early. In the compression now. That makes sense?
Yep.
So one of the big things is because the ABS really hates going over that crest with the steering wheel in and on the brakes.
Yep.
So hold between 2 and 1 longer, and then you can straighten the wheel and then go to the brakes over before the crest. So that way you put the nose down and then it rides over the crest with the nose already compressed.
Exactly.
Because when the car gets light is when the ABS gets upset.
Yep.
You know, I think even though I feel like I'm really over slowing 12 there,
Yep.
I think that's probably a safe place without really overdoing it and having, having an issue.
You're not going to gain much time.
No, because you only have
going
corners.
a little faster.
Exactly, and but the risk goes up exponentially.
Right.
So it's 14, 13, 12. After the apex of 12, hold it a little longer. Then let it drive out to the seam. Relax the throttle. Let the car finish turning. And as soon as it starts pointing in the right direction, roll back into throttle. Hold the apex at 10 longer. Yep. And then, I'm sorry, it's actually still 11. So the apex of 11 a little longer. Quick transition over to 10, and then slow it down. So you have to get over the crown in the road.
Right.
Get over the crown and then slow your hands down. Be a bit more patient on the throttle for the exit of 10.
Yep.
9 is good. I'm happy with that. 8 is good. I'm happy with that. 7, you can get into that bowl a little sooner and then let it out. And what that's doing is allowing you to soften the brakes as you're gaining grip into the hillside. And then we're on the throttle about the same place anyway. So all I'm allowing for is a faster entry while still maintaining a safe a level of a degree of safety.
Sure.
And 6, I'm turning a little sooner than you, but with slower hands.
Yep.
I'm not saying one way is wrong or the other way is right. It's just trying something different.
Sure.
5, I'm going in deep and then turning the car, expecting the rear to kind of step out just a little bit as I release that brake.
Yep.
Trying to keep the weight on the nose as long as I can because the road keeps falling away. Between the apex cone of 5 there and into 4, I full throttle while the wheel is straight, and then carry the brake into the corner, let it go out, rotate again, let the car finish turning, and then squeeze on the throttle. 2, I'm turning in a little early, and then 1, as we discussed, get the wheel straight, brake a little just before the crest with a straight steering wheel, and then you can soften the brake after the crest.
Right. Gotcha.
All right, so why don't you take me for a few laps?
Okay.